Hey guys, I get a lot of questions on the channel, so I'm going to just answer as many questions as I can today. So this is just going to be answering your questions. First one is, how tall are you? So if you guys are watching my riding video, you're probably trying to gauge how tall you would be on the bike. So I'm 5'10". I hope that puts it into perspective for you. One I get a lot is, where did you buy the mirrors? If you go onto eBay and you just Google Indian Scout Bobber rectangle mirrors, you'll see these rectangle mirrors and they'll have a double stem on them that goes into one stem where it mounts. So all I did was I just unscrewed that mirror off that stem. I cut the factory stem in half, drilled a hole in it, and just did a tap and die into it. So you cannot buy that mirror setup as is. That is just a cheap rectangle mirror from eBay, and with the original mount or stem, whatever you want to call it, just tap and die and cut. So you just do a little modification to it. Where did you buy the 240 wheel and tire? Well, you can buy it from indianaftermarket.com. I went through them, but I actually ended up going through RC Components also to expedite the process. There was a few hiccups in the ordering of it. But I do want to touch on one thing. When you order the 240 wheel and tire, they put the Metzler 888 tire on it. Now the reason being is because if you go to a 240 Michelin or a 240 Pirelli, it may not fit in the stock swing arm because tire sizes are not always exactly the same. If you've ever bought a tire for your truck, for example, and you order a 285 BFG, and then you want to go to a 305 and save some money and get like a Chinese or a cheap knockoff tire, it may be the same size as the 285 or a 295, again, because there's different tolerances in sizes. So if you're going to order the 240 rear tire, if you want a guaranteed fit, get the Metzler 888. I cannot guarantee that it's going to fit if you go any other route. Other people have had issues with rubbing when they went to a different tire. Speaking of the tire size, so the actual 240, the rear wheel, it's an 18 by 8.5 rim, and the 240 tire size is 240, 40, 18. My front wheel is a stock wheel. It's a 16 by 3.5, and the tire I have on there is a 150, 80, 16, and it's not even coming close to rubbing, even with the front fender on, so no issues there. Let's see. Do you have to remove the swing arm? So just to touch on the last question, no, you don't. You have to remove the rear fender and the subframe, but you do not have to remove the rear swing arm. You've got probably 1/4 of an inch or a little less on each side after installing the 240 rear wheel and tire. Do you have to remap or tune after exhaust install? No, maybe some people do, I didn't. So this Radical Radius by Freedom Performance exhaust here, simple, easy bolt on. Took the old exhaust off, put that on, didn't have to do any tuning, remap. People have asked about, did I remove the baffles? Didn't do anything. Again, pulled it out of the box, slapped it on there, no issues whatsoever. Okay, where did you get the fork gaiters? Those are the boots on the front forks there. They are by Biker's Choice, and they are the 39mm shorties. The reason why I went with the shorties, if you look at other people that have got fork gaiters on their bike, they're all bunched up, and it's just, to me, it's just not a good look. Do you get wet riding in the rain? Well, fortunately for me, I live in South Carolina where it's really hot. We do get some severe thunderstorms in the summertime. But typically I plan on not riding in the rain, but if I get caught in a storm, yeah, I'm gonna get wet. It is what it is, it's not a big deal. How is your tag mounted? So I recently posted a new video, and it's titled Indian Scout Bobber Tank Machine Fender Delete Plate, something like that. You can just click on my videos and you'll find it. The actual mount is an electrical junction box that I modified. I bought it at Lowe's and painted it, and it worked out perfect. But go to that video and you'll see exactly, again, because we're just answering questions right here. I'm not going to go into details per se. How is cornering with wider tires? It is different, but it's not something that you're not going to get used to within a couple miles. when you have a rear wider tire, and again, this is just my opinion, when you're cornering, it takes a little more effort, a little more lean. You know, you got to throw your knees into the tank just a little bit. But again, it's the same thing if you drive a sports car and then go to a truck. Cornering is different. So you get used to it, and you know, it's not a big deal at all. I mean, even going to a wider front tire, the handling is slightly different, but you'll get used to it almost immediately. What handlebars are those? I get asked this a lot. Those are from indianaftermarket.com. So most handlebars, if they're a 1 inch, they'll taper off into a 7/8 inch to accommodate the controls and the grips. So what they did with these ones, it's a 1 inch bar, but it has a 7/8 inch insert on both ends. They're about $250 again from indianaftermarket.com. There is no hitting on the tank with the mirrors. You do have to slightly move your brake banjo with the brake cable so it clears the upper control arm, not upper control arm, the triple tree. I'm thinking my truck. The triple tree on there. So all you gotta do is loosen the banjo, rotate it, and it's totally fine. Okay, where did you get tires with Indian logos? So this is what they're referring to. This is my stock front tire that originally came on it. Now these are Kenda tires, and they had the Indian logo stamped on them, and all I did was take a paint pen to them. So that was it. It's kind of tedious. Be honest with you, I'd never do it again. If you want it to look perfect, it's kind of tricky to do. So let's see here. Don't you burn your legs on the pipes? Well, luckily for me, I have chicken legs. So no, I don't burn my legs on the pipes. Again, just the stance on the bike when you're sitting on it, you've got enough clearance. And certainly after a long ride, especially in the summertime, you will notice the heat and you will pay attention, trust me. Isn't the seating position uncomfortable? Now, when people watch the riding video, I get this question a lot. Or people will say things like, you would be more comfortable if you had risers on the handlebars. Well, thanks for your concern. The bike is very comfortable to ride. Leaning forward and having the forward controls in the position that they are, it's very comfortable. Now, I certainly wouldn't cruise across country on this bike. It's not built for that, but the seat is very comfortable in that riding position. But then again, everybody's different. If you have lower back problems or, you know, any ailments that, you know, makes it uncomfortable to be in that position, it's probably not for you. Let's see here. Let's talk about comfort real quick too. So the stock seat, people ask what seat is that? So that's the, it's an Indian seat, but it's the 1920 Solo saddle seat. That, along with the stock suspension and the lack of any natural cushion on your body per se, it can be very uncomfortable and you'll feel bumps. So it's not so much the seat as it is a combination of everything. The seat, the suspension, and the road that you're traveling on. I really don't have any complaints. Again, people don't buy a rat rod and complain that it doesn't drive as smooth as a Cadillac. So yeah, form over function, that whole thing. Okay, let's see here. That's pretty much all the questions I have. I do want to point out one thing. Somebody asked about, on my previous videos, the matte black vinyl. So I'm going to show you what I did. I made that sort of tank shape right there. This is just clear Lexan, and I used that as a stencil, and I just traced around a big sheet of black vinyl, and I just made a bunch of these. And so these can be tricky when you put on. The corners may not lay down, so you want to make sure that you always clean and prep your tank with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, just to clean it for a better adhesion. You can put these on dry. Some people use a soap and water solution to put on so they can manipulate it and get it exactly where they want it, and then squeegee out any water. But if you just buy a cheap roll of black matte vinyl or any color vinyl from eBay or wherever, you can cut multiple ones of this. A whole roll will cost you probably $10 and you could probably get about 30 or 40 of these out of it. So if you screw it up, just take it off and redo it again. Guys, I want to thank you for watching all the videos. I do plan on doing another riding video. I said that in the past, and yes, I am a slacker, so I apologize for that. But keep asking questions. I'll answer as many as I can, as I always do. Hit the like and the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheers.